Hello everyone, and welcome to, I think this is my 7th vlog. I know, it's bad if I'm losing track already. But, yeah. So, this time, I think, I might have even gone over this some before. Also, I want to mention, I'm kind of tired, so this vlog's either going to be the worst, or it's going to be a good ramble. Or I don't think it's gonna be anything in between, though. I don't know. I don't really. No, anyways, getting off to a bad start. So, Final Fantasy, Pony Fantasy 6. I think I've kind of gotten into it, but I'd like to apologize because, like almost always, I'm not making progress on it. I was for a little bit because Sapere had some stuff he was doing. He had some stuff going on. And I was like, well, okay, I can do this on the side, and also upload some stuff of mine, and it'll be fine. We'll have, plenty of stuff going. And then recently there's been the thing where neither me or Sapere are that busy. I guess specifically the thing is that Sapere hasn't been that busy, and that's great for recording. We have been recording a lot lately, and there's so much Phoenix right in the way, and don't worry, we're soon going to be getting back on all of the bests, the Dishonored and Alan Wake. Alan Wake, Dishonored I feel bad about because it was basically our first one, so that one just kind of got waysided by the fact that we didn't really know what we were doing, but we're going to get back to it. Alan Wake was really, really bad timing. And so that one's just awkward to get back into, because it's like, that was, it just brings back memories of why it was bad timing. And it was bad things, generally. I don't really have a story for it at the moment. I'm generally bad with stories. I'm also paying my microphone, just dust is a thing. But anyways, so this is great for the overall recording, and I should be better with this, but this is, for solo recordings, this is actually makes things harder, because if I had to make a choice, I'd rather do a group recording. Recording with Sapere is just so much more enjoyable to make, and I think it's also probably more enjoyable to watch. So, recording on my own just, gets so easily waysided, because I'm like, well, I know I could do Pony Fantasy, by myself, but then I'd have to be by myself, or we could do a group effort, go for some more, Phoenix Wright recently started System Shock, which hopefully isn't going to turn into too big of a thing with the difficulty, freaking, I don't even think, by the time I put this out, it might not even be up to that part yet, but freaking magic monkeys are the worst. Magic for Japan, whatever. It's like Ape Escape. It's like they're not apes, but whatever. Or wait, or they not? I don't know what the fuck they were. But anyways, so yeah. So that's the case with that. And I just like to say this, because I'm like, I know there are probably people who really want to see that, Pony Fantasy, because, well, yeah, Pony Fantasy is a really great game, and, I mean, I wouldn't even disagree that my commentary is bad. I just, I don't know what other people like seeing, but I do know that personally I prefer Let's Playing with, well, Sapere. He's a great Let's Play partner, and I don't know, it's just more interesting for me. It's like, because when I sit down with a game, it's just like, hey guys, look at this game, I'm playing it. Oh, and did I tell you this story? And it has the issue where, unfortunately, like right now, like I'm making a vlog, and I was in the mood to make a vlog, but I wasn't in the mood to record the game, which is unfortunate, because it's more effort. Here I'm just sitting here talking, but, when you're the one playing a game like that, you really have to do both. When you're the only one, you have to talk, and then you have to focus on, okay, what am I actually doing in this game? So I actually have more respect for solo Let's Players than I did when I started this. But ironically, I still prefer the system I have going with Spare, because I have more respect for those people who can just sit down and do that. But then whenever, like, sometimes I'll watch Let's Plays, and I still watch, I don't watch them as, like, constantly, but I still watch Two Best Friends. And yeah, they're really cool guys. I really like watching, like, I generally watch the Two Best Friends, or sometimes I'll watch, something with Lily or whatever. I really like that dynamic, the two-person dynamic. I think it's perfect. Three-people dynamic is kind of cool too, but you have to have people who are cool with hating on each other, and in all honesty, I can't find anyone besides me and Spare who's cool, and who's also cool with being insulted and being a bro, so, it's like, yeah. There's not much to do with that, but that's fine. I'm not really in a rush to get guest stars, because it occurs to me that the last few guest stars I've had were not the best. I think there's about almost a 50% ratio of guest stars that I had that I'm not talking to. Now, that's not fully true. I mean, well, yeah. I mean, like, there's some people who have had guest star who are cool, like, DJ. I remember I had him guest star for a thing for that one game that shooty, I can't remember. Anyways, freaking, I don't know why I'm having trouble with this. It's probably because I haven't played it in forever. But anyways, the 64 game, was, GoldenEye 64? Yeah, there we go. GoldenEye 64. So we did that. And that was good. I appreciate him as guest star. Jack was a good guest star who's pretty sporting. But that's about it. I talk to Omari still. He's fine, but yeah, I don't know. I think for now I'll just stick with my, the whole partnership system with the pair, and we'll worry about guest stars in the future. But, if anyone likes guest stars, I appreciate it. If you ever want guest stars, feel free to, mention previous ones who don't suck. Like, don't be like, oh, I want your sister. No, she's not going to be in any more videos. Robert's not going to be in any more videos. They're not a thing. If you want to see more Omari, there's him, which, might have, well, I'd have to talk to him about it, but he's probably fine with it, and, moreover, there's always the pair, hopefully it's fine, he's gonna be in, like, pretty much all my videos, where I'd confidently say we're partners at this point, 50-50 split, with all the everything. I'm really bad at getting distracted with this. Anyways, so yeah, that was my main thing. I know I probably explained this so many times before. I have to actually go back and look, because I always have this issue where I'm like, I know I want to tell things, and I want to be like, yo, this is an issue here, but I never get to it. But don't worry, it's not dead. Yeah. And once again, I'll mention any of the Let's Plays with my sister. Most of the things I've done with the pair, they're not gonna die. There's a few, like, XCOM. It's funny, we actually recorded so much more XCOM than we put up, but recorded so much XCOM, and I swear we wasted, like, 20 hours at least into that game, and at the end of it, it was just so frustrating. Me and Sapir almost literally stopped talking to each other after that, because we just couldn't agree. And I still disagree with everything that happened on that Let's Play, but we've pretty much come to a, understanding that we're not going to do that again. We're no longer, yeah. Because that's not a fun Let's Play. After a while. Like, if it's a fair Iron Man mode game, that's great. But a game like that just kicks your ass for no reason, is not a fun game to Iron Man mode, and it's not a fun game to Let's Play. I don't, if we were doing the whole save system and we just randomly the game decided to kick our ass and be like, well, that's fine, we can just go save, it's whatever. But, no, we're Iron Man moding it. Just fucking screw the newest XCOM. XCOM Enemy Unknown. I think it's the newest XCOM. Sorry if it's not. Because I know they're coming out with Xenonauts and Superiors. Like, I'm keeping an eye on that. That's supposed to be pretty hype, but just everything that happened, like, I don't, yeah. That's one of those few things I'm like, I don't know if I regret it or not, because it did bring about a lot of things. I guess it's like kind of thing that I'm like, I don't regret it because it had to eventually happen. We eventually had to have that game that made us realize there's some things we just can't cover. Like games like that. Now, don't get me wrong, we can cover crappy games. We're just not Iron Man moding crappy games. Or super tough crappy games. Unless we're just joke Let's Playing it. Like I did that Let's Play of Pink Pone Action, and I got as far as I could, and that was literally it. That's as far as we went. I'm like, okay, that's all I can do. I can get up to the one point, and then I can figure out how you get past the freaking bullet bills. I'm sure there's a way. It's like, cause you can trigger them like you can. I'm like, it's obvious there's a way. I just couldn't figure it out. But yeah. So that's that. But I kind of feel like I'm losing what I was actually saying here. That's the bad thing about doing vlogs at this time of night. My memory becomes even worse to the point where I'm like, without someone to talk to, I just start to, I just start to ramble. So yeah, there's that, and me and Sapir aren't always recording, but there's, getting back to the thing, but it's that thing where it's like, well, I can't spend all my time recording, which is why most of the time I'm not recording with Sapir, I'm not really in the mood to record more things, because it's like, I love recording, it's amazing, it's actually really fun, and it's really expressive, and it's, I don't know, I enjoy making content for you guys, and it's always fun hearing that you guys enjoy my content, but, I can't do it 24/7, that'd be ridiculous, I'd be tired out, and there are other things I want to do in life. I also forgot to mention that, like usual, I'm looking super terrible. I'm starting to grow out my beard again. I'll get to the other thing first. So, yeah, I think I've repeated this, like, several times with the recording thing. I get so mixed up with that. But, yeah. So I hope you're all not mad, and I'm not, like I said, I'm not letting it die out. It's just one of those things that's, like, it's gonna have some suspensions. And the other thing is, it's one of those things where it's like, I could take the time off from recording with Sapir and then record that, but then it's that kind of awkward thing, like, I don't want to ask for that. I don't want to ask, like, oh, hey, can we not record today so I can do my own thing? It's like, and like I said, I'd rather record with Sapir, which is the thing. It's like, I could technically do that, I just don't want to. It'd be easy to be like, hey, Sapir, we record a lot. I'm sure we'll do fine without recording for a day. Do you mind if I just take the day to do my own stuff? But then I don't really want to do that unless, unless my own stuff isn't recorded. But if it's recording related, I'm like, well, yeah, I don't need to do that. So, excuse me, sorry. So that's that. Okay, getting back to that, yeah, like usual, I look so bad during these. I don't actually know how bad I usually look. I've been starting to grow up my facial hair a little more. I think I was concerned growing it out, and then I'm like, I could do it for vlog, and then I'm like, you know, I'm lazy, and I don't know who, like, I'm like, I don't even know, these days. Anyways, so I don't know, I'm losing track of what I'm saying, but I will link a picture of me with a beard in the description that you'll find under the video. Not down here, like in, no. But in the video, you won't find you won't find anything like that in my pants. I could tell you to find my pants, but I do that several times during, Phoenix Wright videos and stuff. So, hey, I don't really need to. Every time I see Mia, oh man, it's funny because I'm like, I always hope that's not too bad, because I just Mia with her like massive, and I'm like, I can't help but talk about it because it's just, I don't know, it's perfect. I'm like, it's not as bad as it sounds. It's just one of those things. It's like, they're just massive tits. How could you not talk about those? How could you not, like, when they're on screen? I'm like, that's you have to mention them. If you don't point them out, you're doing it wrong. I'm probably totally off here, but that's just, that's always what I think. I see that, I'm like, oh man, I love those. I love talking about those. That's always funny. And yeah, her being like, don't grope dead people, and I'm like, oh, it's fun. It's fine. I'll grope all the dead people. Yeah. But no, sorry. So, getting totally off topic again. Hopefully y'all don't mind that. I kind of, this time, well, it is vlogs, so I think that's fine if you're basically, like, it's not like I'm revealing any company secrets. Like, we don't test our Let's Plays on raccoons or anything. As much as I would love to. What I'd love to even more would be going over to Canada, I would, normally I wouldn't, but, going over to Canada and testing our Let's Plays on mooses with some hair. That'd be the best. I can't think of a better way to spend an afternoon than going around and forcing mooses to watch our Let's Plays. So we can figure out if they're good. best quality control ever. I mean, anyone, like, I'm sure someone could find a better system, but I claim that this is probably the best system you're going to find for a while. Yes. Also, yeah. I don't know. So that's fun. I think I said it. Gonna link a picture of me. Yeah, I did say that. Okay, so, what else do we have to get out? What was I? Sorry. I'm. This time of night makes me a little crazy sounding, but I'm fine. Yeah. So I already asked several things in my in the previous updates and stuff. I don't think many people watch the updates, these vlogs. I don't know why I said they're updates. So it's actually vlogs, because they're just like talking about stuff. It's funny because I actually don't know that these are the best vlogs. I'm not sure how most people do them. I'd assume usually people talk about their personal life, but I almost never do. But I'm like, oh, what's there to talk about? I'm a dude who obviously is is unfortunately not in an apartment yet, but admittedly this is nice living quarters. I don't actually know if I want to be in one at the moment, but that's, and I play games. I have a really cool BF. That's pretty hype. You know, it's a pair is a pair. That's not really part of my personal life. Oh, speaking of gaming and stuff, and recently Sapere got, Conquistadors Expeditions, and that game is actually pretty amazing. I don't know if we'll be doing a video on it or not. There's just so many things we're currently going to be doing a video on, and currently doing videos on, that we might not be able to get to it, and I don't even know if it's that Let's Playable. But the game is just, it's fun. It's a really good strategy game. It's basically what it's been described as, is a cross between the best things in the Oregon Trail and the best things in Might and Magic. Yes. And it's also kind of open world-ish. And, yeah. It's I've heard Sapere said that the only downside is it can be short. I watched him play it some, but I didn't watch him play the whole thing. Well, actually, the game can be short as long as you want, but he said he read the thing, the estimated play time is, it's 25 hours. I think he said it was 20, something like that. Admittedly, come to think of it, though, it's currently really cheap on Steam if you get it during the Steam sale, which, let's see, the Steam sale should be going on after a couple of days after I post this. So if you get it during the Steam sale, then that's, you'll have it even cheaper. It's like $10 right now, and normally it's like $20. So I think that's not a bad deal, actually. Even if that is the case, I don't know if it started $20 or not. So, maybe it was always, but I actually assume it did. I assume it started as a budget game. Because it's one of those games it is fun, but there's that warning that it looks like a budget game. It's really fun. It also has Dungeons & Dragons-like elements, in the best ways. Like, I love how the turn thing works, 'cause you can move people, like, basically you can move them to different degrees. Like, you can have them so they can have their attack and their movement, or you can move them their full distance and they don't get attacked, but they can move really, really far, and they have all these, like, cool little moves and stuff, and, yeah, it's fun. More fun than I had with Might and Magic Heroes. I'm sorry. Everyone who loves it, seriously, I'm sure you have a reason to love it. I never enjoyed it. I tried them and I'm like, that's not my cup of tea. I liked the old Might and Magic before the Heroes. Which the last one of those was Dark Messiah. Which, even that I almost count as a spin-off, because I'm like, that was different than the older Might and Magic, so admittedly it was still a Might and Magic game, and it was like an action slash, getting down, I don't know how to describe it at the moment, an action RPG. I don't know why that was so hard, but, so you have the level ups, and you have all that stuff, and you have the stabbing dudes. But it was more action-based, where the old ones were more RPG-based. And I don't know which I guess I'd prefer a culmination of both, actually, but it seems like there's very few games that really culminate both very well. Both, action and RPG. That's kind of hard to do, because, yeah. I guess, in a way, that's why I like Kingdom Hearts so much. The idea is really fun, but, actually I think, I wouldn't say it's perfect, but I'd say it's a pretty good culmination of the action and the RPG, RPG elements are a big deal, but action elements are also a big deal. You know, you kind of have to be decent at both. Admittedly, the RPG elements, they're not. They are slightly watered down. I don't even know if watered down is the right word, but they're basic. They're just you stab dudes and you level up. That's there's some skill assignment and some equipment, but there's not a whole lot of choice in the usual Kingdom Hearts games process. But it's still really fun, and admittedly, that's kind of fine for an action RPG, because sometimes RPGs do have the issue with getting bogged down with trying to give you too much choice to the degree that they give you. Well, I think Spoonie said best with Final Fantasy 13, which is that the Crystanium system is stupid, and it doesn't need to exist. I'm sorry for everyone who loves Final Fantasy 13. I hate the Crystanium system. I hate everything about the Crystanium system. It could have just been handled with leveling up. The Crystanium system had no real choice. You're always going down a single pathway, and like the entire game. And there were little split-offs here and there, but they didn't mean anything. And sure, you could choose between the different jobs, but once again, Spoonie covered that too, which is that you could only do that after a certain point in the game, which at that point, it was always like, well, why would you change someone's entire job when you already have someone who's, like, say, level 3 in the job? And if I remember right, the Crystanium system, that's a big deal, because the Crystanium system is stupid and I hate it. Okay, anyways, I'm sorry. I'm going to try not to get off on too much rant on how much I dislike 13 and in so many ways. But the Crystanium system is one of the things that actually made me stop playing the game. I wish they were normal level ups. There was, there wasn't a point to it. It's like I just want my character's stats to increase normally. Like they would in any other Final Fantasy game. Even in the Final Fantasy games that weren't my favorite that had a leveling system. 13's the only one I found that I actually didn't enjoy that much. And that was one of the big reasons. I was like, okay, they just made leveling up not fun anymore. Because you want to spend your Crystanium points, but then it's like, it's a chore to do. It's unnecessary, and I don't like it. Yes. So that. Please, I know there are so many people who like Final Fantasy 13, but don't. I will be among those people who tell you, don't like Final Fantasy 13. Don't do it. Don't do it. Go play Final Fantasy 6. I know I'm already let's playing it, but if you really want to play Final Fantasy game, that is an excellent place to start. Another great one is Final Fantasy 4 or Final Fantasy 2, which was originally named in America. And it was named in America, but it was originally 4, and then they named it 2 in America. But freaking hell, I love that one. It's enjoyable. It does have that problem where it gets a little grindy at bits, but it's it's an RPG and it's an older one, so that's understandable. It's really fun. I enjoy it, and I'd say just it's a great thing to play with. Or if you want a newer one, well, I don't know how much newer you want to go. I would say though 8 or 9. It's funny, people don't really like 8 that much, at least some people, and I'm like, why don't you like 8? Still can't figure it out. I'm like, okay, the main character is a little more, I don't even know. He's purposely a darker character, more broody, like, moody character. And I'm like, I can see how you don't like that. But, hey, I mean, wasn't that the same way Final Fantasy VII was? And everyone loves Final Fantasy VII. Cloud was probably the least happy hero up to that point. It could be argued with some of the others, and maybe I'm wrong. But yeah, like even 6, it feels like the tone isn't quite so dark for 6, even though the tone is really dark for 6 at times, because people die and there's all kinds of stuff. But you get to town and there's silly NPCs and there's chocobos and there's bright colors and you know, the world is bright and colorful outside of towns. It feels like an average fantasy setting. You know, yeah. They have the Steam thing going on, which I guess is interesting, but it's not. I guess it's the other thing. It's not as high as technology. It's like it's a slight jump up from the normal Final Fantasy technology, but it's not you know, a major overhaul of technology. It's not like, you know, all of a sudden it's set in the future with fucking gadgets everywhere and stuff. And I kind of, yeah. I have to admit, though I like some of the newer settings like Final Fantasy, and I'm not hating on 7, I'm just saying I don't get, you know, I'm like, 7 wasn't bad, but comparatively, I don't know why it would be compared, say, better than 8. I'm like, I don't know. I love 8. I also love 9, which I love because they went back to that standard feel of Final Fantasy with the setting and everything, and you know, more swords and magic and stuff. It's funny because every game has swords and magic, but I always just find it. I don't know. I like the normal setting better. Maybe that's just me. Cause sure, I'm like, I get it with the future and with the combination of magic and stuff, but then I kind of like the normal fantasy setting. Admittedly, you know, that's not to say they couldn't do it well and that they haven't occasionally done it well, but it might also be because they've made almost as many bad games as they have good games in the new set. In fact, they've made more bad games than they have good games in the future setting, or whatever you call it, the magic future tech. It's fucking, yeah. At least in my opinion. I'm not gonna say everyone has to hate 13. Well, okay, everyone should hate 13. Some of those games I'm like, I dislike that it got so popular. I dislike that they made a 13.2, and now they're making a 13.3, which is Lightning Returns. It's actually called 3, but it might as well be 13.3. And I'm like, why? Why is this? Just, I want to move on with the Final Fantasies. I want another, you know, I want them to move on with it, with keep making another one. It's not like, it's funny because I actually don't even dislike when they do sequels completely. Like, it's just the way they're going about it. They're just halting because they're like, people love this, we can make money off of it. So they're like, let's grind out another sequel to Final Fantasy 13. And I'm like, but you didn't do this for all the other great games, all the other great Final Fantasy games. Admittedly, maybe they shouldn't, because maybe they'd kill it. But, you know, I don't have a Final Fantasy 1-5 or a Final Fantasy 6-10. That'd be a lot of sequels. But it's stupid. So now they have Final Fantasy 13-3, and I'm like, can't you just make a Final Fantasy 15? I think they already made a 14, and it was a crappy MMO something. Remember that was the way it was with 11. They decided to make Final Fantasy 11 into MMO, and then I think they made 12, and it was a normal game. And 13 was a normal game, and then they're like, 14, they're like, we're going to try an MMO again. and they made it worse than the first one. And I'm like, how'd you do that? And admittedly, I haven't really seen it or played any, so I have there's some of the few Final Fantasy games I have no real opinion on are the MMOs, just because I'm like, service charges are a pain. But, not service charges, I don't know what you'd call them, but, the monthly fees, I guess that's what you'd call them. Can't handle it. Not today. No, but yeah, just monthly fees are a pain. Mainly because I don't have that kind of money to keep up MMOs, and I'm not that bored. I have a lot of other games to play to the degree where I'm like, I don't need to throw money at one game. I'm sorry, games. I'm not that kind of gamer. It's not like with people. I can't devote myself to a single game. A single game. That's not how I do things. That doesn't really work. I mean, I even tried, I tried one of the most famous ones, World of Warcraft, and it's funny because I played that for quite a while, actually. I actually got up to top level with one character, and then I played a little more, and then I was like, I'm bored. Why am I playing this? And then I stopped playing it. And that's the end of the story. It's literally, I wouldn't recommend playing World of Warcraft, because that'll probably happen. And then it has the issue, I actually think it's just general MMOs. They have the issue, that Traconis mentioned, which is a friend of mine I might have mentioned in other videos. Most MMOs have the problem of not being very original, which means that they all, kind of feel the same. I'm not saying all of them feel the same, and, I'm sure there's fun to be had for people who really want to go top tier with games, like MMOs, if that's your thing, sure, but I just want to sit down and have fun with my friends and stuff. But at the same time, I don't really like the fact that every MMO is always going to, it seems like it's always going to be doing that whole, I'm gonna give you quests to go kill 20 people quests. It's funny because that's something I actually really like about, Dragon's Nest recently. I think you'd call that an MMO. It's not much more original. I mean, you have quests. In fact, you have an annoying abundance of quests. And they usually tell you to go do things in a dungeon. But, the dungeons are pretty much the bulk of the game. In fact, they are the bulk of the game. They're the entire game. And besides getting quests and doing crap in town, like playing with stats and stuff, but the entire actually going out and playing the game, shooting stuff and fun stuff, and I don't know, I'm like, actually that feels unique. I know there's other games that have done that, but there's not that many games, not that many MMOs anyways. They're all more like, oh man, World of Warcraft was so hype, we need to get some of that for ourselves, and, so we gotta make the exciting things, like the kill 20 monsters. I know World of Warcraft got that for other things. It's always like, I don't know, I'd like people to reward me for doing actual things at some point, rather than being like, go kill 20 of this. Or go collect, or fetch quests are worse. It's funny, I'm complaining about those. I'm like, I hate fetch quests. I hate when you get those, when you're like, they're like, collect 6 of this item, and the monsters never drop it. And it's like, I killed like 50 of these things. I swear, this guy who gave me this quest, this game let me kill him, I would. I'd be like, you know what, I don't need to do this quest. I could just kill you and steal the loot. I know I'm a hero, but then again, I don't know why I'm a hero, because all I ever do is kill things, and usually in a specific number, like 20. And I do that forever, rinse and repeat until they're like, you're such a great hero and you have cool armor and stuff. And I'm like, well, yeah, I do, but yeah, no. So that's my overall rant with MMOs. It's funny because I actually recently started playing Guild Wars. I think that's it, Guild Wars 2. And I had some fun with it. I like the combat system. Ironically had the issue with it, but I do love that it's original. It's funny because it's one of those MMOs I would say it's practically best played on your own. There's some multiple class stuff and stuff going on, but overall there's just, I'd say there's no real. I got into a dungeon, and maybe I should try more dungeons, but I got into a dungeon, and the dungeons are the only part of the game that I don't like, because you get into a dungeon with a bunch of people, and it just turns into a ridiculous mashing of everything together. It's like, it does, at that point it doesn't fit, I guess it has the issues that was my favorite part of MMOs, because everyone has their distinct thing they're set and they need to do. Like, you have the tank, and you have the healer, and you have the damage dealers. And, I wouldn't mind that mixed up a bit, but it's still nice to have your normal set roles and your reasons why you have this character above this character in your party. Not to say that one's better than the other, but more than like you wouldn't go into a dungeon with 5 fighters, probably, because then you don't have any healers, and when you guys start dying or start losing damage, and things just goes downhill. But, yeah, so then, what was I saying? I keep doing that, I'm losing track of what I'm saying. Guild Wars 2 does not have that, as far as I can tell. Like, there's the people with the higher armor, kind of. Well, actually, they definitely, obviously have higher armor, but there's just not really effective ways to, say, grab aggro. And there's not effective ways to, as far as I can tell, for healers to heal particular party members. And, yeah, so it just turns into a big fest of, like, mashing attacks and stuff. And, I don't know, I was like, this doesn't seem that fun after doing my first dungeon, and then that kind of frustrated me. But the overall game besides that is actually still really good. People are like, well, they kind of broke it down to its base elements, but in a good way, I think. And they basically made it more actiony, but they broke down to the base elements, so you don't have as many attack things. But I was watching a review and I actually realized this was a good thing, because you only have so many quick slots. But this means that you aren't doing that normal MMO juggling where you have, like, 20 spells you need to use. And just, a fucking clutter of quick spells all over here, like, at the bottom of your screen and all over the side of your screen. And it gets stupid. Anyways, this has probably gone on for... Wow, this is one of those long vlogs. I once tried to cut these into parts. If people ever ask me to, I will start doing that again. But I actually feel like, the vlogs are different from Let's Plays in that way. They're just like, if someone's that interested in a vlog, they'll just sit down and watch. If they're not that interested, they're not going to watch a 2-part vlog. They're, any more than they would just watch a big chunk of a vlog. Or, unless, or, you know, maybe they'll watch at a vlog. I don't know. But either way. So, I don't know how much I accomplished with this. I know I probably apologize for the thing I started with a lot, but I think I have some other things that I announced that were important. I'm also sorry, Superior's told me that I need to work on my looking at the camera, and I'm terrible at it. I'm like, I get that I'm supposed to look at the camera, and I can while I'm staring at this, but normally yeah, that's not really what I do. I'm like, and even then, I get so distracted, because I'm like, there's not really anything to focus on there. I could put something to focus on the screen. I could put some, but yeah, and actually, my screen's not that boring. It's just not the kind of thing I'm extensively looking at. If I was extensively looking at it, I'd probably be distracted, which is why I get distracted now, because I'm, it's really confusing. I don't know how to do that. It's unfortunate. So, that's probably all I have to say for now. I hope there's not anything I left out, because if so, well, I'm gonna need to make another vlog. Oh yeah, one of these days, I recently realized that it would be super easy to make a vlog with me and Sapir in it, so we might do that, but at the moment I don't really think we have a reason to. In fact, this barely has a reason to exist. It was mainly like, I was looking at the time, and I was like, I don't know, it's late, but I feel, I keep going through these things in my head, and, I wanna talk about them. I wanna state a few things, like the videos, and, yeah. Oh, also, that's another thing I've noticed with Sapir, is in the videos, I worry so much less. Like, I don't tend to worry if I'm insulting anyone, because I'm like, I feel like it's more obvious that I'm joking. Like, if right now I made a joke that was inappropriate, I'd probably have trouble with it, because I'm like, well, I know it's a joke, but still, it's, it's awkward. But then when I'm talking with another person, it's just not awkward, especially when someone I know well, and I'd say I've gotten to know Sapir pretty well over the last multiple months. So yeah, that's all in all that explanation. Oh, also, XCOM is dead. I think we said that. Recently there was a comment on there, and XCOM is dead. We're not doing more of that. Oh wait, I think I did say that, because it's not fun. I'd rather let's play Final Fantasy 13. Seriously, was that not fun? Yeah, alright, so besides that, I would, not even something like that. I'm like, that's, some people be like, oh, that's fun. I'd rather let's play Barbie Horse Adventure. So, also, sorry, I keep screwing my chair. I'd rather let's play Barbie Horse Adventure than the newest XCOM Enemy Unknown. I literally would. I think it'd be more fun, to let's play that. Okay, that's my charger cable. Sorry, I saw a cable, in the thing, and it was confusing me. Anyways. So, yeah, that's just my charger cable for my PSP. Yeah, I think that's everything to be said, so thank you all for watching, and hope to see y'all next time. Bye.